Welcome back to Grid Drop. Today we're going to help you get faster around Formula One's most demanding track, Monaco. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave any feedback or questions in the comment section or in my Discord, which is linked in the description. That being said, let's get right into it. This video will be broken down into 5 sections: car setup, Sector 1, Sector 2, Sector 3, and finally a full lap. These sections are all equally important, so stay tuned to the end of the video if you really want to improve. So here's the setup I run in Monaco. Feel free to pause the video and screenshot this if you want to try out this setup on your own. This setup prioritizes good front-end rotation and turn-in grip, as well as balanced downforce throughout the lap. As a disclaimer, this setup is a general baseline for you to start with, and applies to both hot laps and a race. I recommend doing a few laps with this setup and tweaking it to fit your own style. Into the first corner, watch for this big Rolex sign above you. About 5 meters before this point, brake. You want a full application of the brakes here, all the way to 100%. This corner is very important as it affects the following straight, so you really want to nail the braking here. Under braking now, watch for where this wall bumps out the most. Try to keep the car as close as possible to this bump out, and at this point where it narrows into the track, that's where you should turn in. Aim to use as much of this inside curb as you can here without going over track limits. As soon as you're off the curb, get back on the power. Now, focusing on the exit, aim to be as close to this left wall as you possibly can. This is a common theme throughout the entirety of the track. By the time you reach this wall, you should almost be at full throttle. The key here is to stay consistent with your throttle input and to make sure avoid understeering into this wall. If you find yourself doing that a lot, you're probably not braking enough for the corner. Now, stick to the left wall as you continue up this hill. As the track opens up to the right, sway towards the middle. You want the straightest line possible through here, so as the track goes left and right, stick close to the inside wall at all times. Approaching this next wide left-hander, stick towards the right side of the track. Watch for either the crosswalk on the track or where the Salesforce sign starts on the left. This is your braking and turning in point. At first, you only want about a 40% brake input and a few downshifts, as this corner should be taken as a double apex. The braking should be a quick jab followed by a slow bleed off the brakes, and as you bleed off, slowly increase your throttle. Try to stick close to the wall initially here, and aim to be the closest where this red and white curb ends on the left. When you reach this inside point, continue increasing the throttle and sway out towards the middle of the track. As the corner kinks to the left again, pull back to the left now and aim to be close to this inside wall, right where the steps to the hotel are. Into the next corner, you want a quick jab of the brakes, again to around 40 or 50%. A single downshift can help rotation here, but it's not necessary to make the corner. At the apex now, increase the throttle and aim to sway out to the left, close to that outside wall. It can be easy to snap into oversteer or a spin on exit here, as the track banks to the right where you should be accelerating, so watch for that on exit. Now, continue down the small straight and pull to the middle of the track to avoid this bump on the left side. Now, prepare for the corner. So, that's a look at Sector 1, now let's see it at full speed. Into the first corner of Sector 2 now, stick towards the left side of the track. I like to watch the apex of the corner for my braking point, but if you need an on-track reference, this yellow sign on the left fence is a good one to use. Brake just before you reach this point, and similar to the first corner of Sector 1, this is a full application of the brakes. Shift down to first gear under braking here and try to bleed off the brakes as smoothly as you can. Even with a low brake bias, it's quite easy to lock the right wheel in this year's game. Turning into the corner now, try to stick as close as you can to this inside wall. Once on the inside, consistently increase your throttle and naturally sway towards this left wall. At this point, you should pretty much be at full power. Now comes the hairpin. Stick to the right side of the track as it opens up, and you want to brake pretty much immediately. If you need a reference point, about a car length ahead of where these shrubs end on the right wall. Under braking now, shift back down to first gear and immediately turn into the corner. It's very easy to understeer here, so make sure you've slowed down enough. Around the hairpin, you should aim to ride your left wheels on the inside curb as it opens up the corner on exit. Coast through the corner here, and at the apex, start slightly increasing your throttle. You need a base of power before corner exit so you can stomp it down as fast as you can. Widening out to the right wall now, you should be at about half throttle. As soon as the wheels are straight, increase to about 90% power and sway towards the left side of the track. Pretty much as soon as you hit that 90% mark, brake and turn into the corner. For this one, you should also try to stick as close to the inside curb as possible, and you can ride your right wheels on it if needed. At mid-corner now, get back on the power and sway to the left side of the track. As you reach this bridge overhead, a slight tap of the brakes is necessary and turn into the corner. Again, aim to be close to this inside wall. At mid-corner, start accelerating, and you should be at full throttle by the time you reach this wall on the exit. Stick close to this wall to extend the track and put the power down once the wheels go straight. Now you have a bit of a breather. Flat out through the tunnel now, pull to the right as the track dips down, and extend to the left on the exit. Again, you want a straight line through here. As you exit the tunnel, pull back to the right side of the track. Watch for the 100-meter board on the right here. This is your braking point. Full use of the brakes here and some downshifting, but make sure to bleed off the brakes smoothly, as locking up here is easy since it's a downhill braking zone. Once you're past the 50-meter board, that's where you should turn in. Aim to cut as close as you possibly can to this inside corner here, but make sure to leave just a little bit of extra room for your rear wheels to make it through. Since the rear of the car is wider than the front, it's possible for the left rear to snag the barrier. At mid-corner, immediately transition your steering to the right and aim to cut across this inside curb. Track limits are actually pretty forgiving here, and you can ride your right wheels over the yellow sausage curb. You don't have to go all the way around it. As soon as you're over this curb, continue increasing the power and start aiming towards the straight on corner exit. You'll naturally be more towards the left and pretty close to this left barrier. As soon as the wheels are straight, put the power down. So that's a run through of Sector 2, now let's see it at full speed. Sector 3 is a very high speed and high risk portion of the lap. Stick towards the right side of the track and you can watch for the 50-meter board on the right. As soon as you reach this point, you want a quick jab to about 25% brake pressure, a single downshift, and a turn into the corner. This turn-in is aggressive and you can really throw the car into it. As you do, really aim to keep close to this inside wall, and at the apex, increase the power. Now, sway out to the right on exit, and before you reach this wall, you should be flat out. Through this corner, you can be pretty much on the power the whole time, and you can be pretty aggressive putting the power down as you maintain a lot of grip through here. Heading towards the next corner now, pull smoothly into the left and aim for this inside curb. You want your left wheels to touch this one, and continuing flat out, you want your right wheels to touch the next one. As soon as you're off this right curb, sway towards the left side of the track and prepare to turn in. The braking point here is a big bush on the left, and you want a very quick jab to 100% pressure as well as a couple downshifts. Turning into this corner now, you guessed it, try to stick as close to this inside wall as you possibly can. A good entry into this corner means an easier turn into the next left. Increase throttle at mid-corner here and immediately transition into the left corner. Here you can also ride your left wheels directly over the sausage curb. As soon as you do, start increasing the throttle again and extend all the way to the right side of the track. Close to this right wall now, focus your attention to the big screen on the right and the big UBS board overhead. You want to brake between these 2 points. Stick to the left side of the track and brake, attempting to create the straightest possible line you can in order to avoid a lockup. Under braking here, don't stick close to this inside curb, you want to pull close to the one after. So as soon as you pass this inside curb with a little bit of extra space, turn in to pull really close to the second bump in the wall here. It's quite easy to lock up here, so good braking is key. Once turning into the corner, wait just a split second to accelerate as it's super narrow on exit. Once closer to the left wall, start putting the power down. Stick to the left wall now and keep accelerating for a second before lifting off the throttle and doing a single downshift. You can slightly tap the brakes here if you need. Rotate the car into the corner and again, stick close to where the barrier bumps out the most. It can be easy to over-accelerate and over-rotate here, so make sure you straighten the wheel as soon as possible once in the corner. Now, since it's super narrow here, you have no choice but to stick to the left wall and increase the power. Now, push the flat out, enable DRS, and fly down the straight. That's a look at Sector 3, now let's see it at full speed. Now let's take a look at a full lap. So there you have it, a full lap of Monaco broken down corner by corner and sector by sector. If you want to see more track guides on F124, have any questions, or need more tips, feel free to leave a comment on this video or on my Discord. Anyway, if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.